Hey, what is up guys? Chillrogg here. In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys my 5-part breakdown for Towers of Doom. We're going to be getting you guys all the tips, tricks, strategies, everything you need to know to get that Storm League win rate up. So stick around to the end of the video. There's 5 parts total. We're going to go through them in the map basics first. We're going to jump into the draft. We're going to head into the lane setup third. Fourth, we're going to talk about the strategy on the map. When fifth, we're going to wrap it up and talk about the most important parts. Let's jump into there now, and we're going to talk about Towers of Doom. Let's start in here. Let's start with part one, the map basics. So Towers of Doom. Towers of Doom is a large 3-lane map. We're going to have the bot lane, the middle lane, and the top lane. Something important to note about this right off the bat is there's a large jungle area between the middle lane and the top lane. Look at all these bushes here and here. A lot of jungle area on this particular map. A lot of jungle area in between middle and bottom as well. So a lot of roaming, a lot of ganking potential right off the bat. Now, something also to note about this map is each core is completely unique. It is totally protected. Both cores are totally protected. And instead of having health, there are 40 shots each that you'll be able to see in a little bit. They show at the top here. They'll have 40 health each instead of their typical structure damage where you can attack them. But we'll get into that later. So another thing that's very unique about this is that when an enemy fort is destroyed, it becomes, instead of just being nothing, it becomes an allied structure. Instead of, when you kill a fort on any other map, the fort just goes down and it's gone now. But on this map, it respawns as an allied fort. And now you control allied forts. So additionally, there are not 2 tiers of structures. Usually there's a fort and then there's a keep. There's just keeps here. There's not 2 structures. There's not like a fort and then a keep. There's just keeps. So very unique here. Something to note about when you kill the enemy fort, the fort in the well always respawn. So you kill, you go in here, you take down all these towers, you kill the fort in the well, you kill all the towers, and it becomes yours. You don't get this front gate. This front gate stays permanently dead forever. So the towers, the gate, these walls, these are always dead. But the fort itself and the well respawn, so they'll come back. Now another important thing to note is this defensive line. Look at this defensive line here. If you pass this defensive line, you take massive damage. So this is a protection for the enemy, and it will kill you very quickly. Look how much damage. Boom, boom, boom. You cannot pass this defensive line without taking immediately a ton of damage. It's very dangerous. Okay, so that's the map structures. Now there's also camps to talk about. Now in Towers of Doom, there are 3 camps. 3 sapper camps, they're also called pumpkin camps, and they're all pretty much the same. There's one on the enemy side in the bot lane. There's one allied one in the bot lane. These spawn at the 1-minute mark. And there's one in the top lane as well. 3 siege camps. Now something very interesting about these pumpkin camps is instead of attacking normally, how other camps do, just sort of attack, they'll attack in the lane. And then once they get to enemy structures, they actually kind of commit this kamikaze attack. So you see they're attacking in lane, attacking, normal. And instead of attacking structures, they'll suicide like this. Look at them, they suicide and they explode for a really high amount of siege damage against enemy structures. So keep that in mind. These ones behave differently. This is also an ability they actually do. So when they go and do that, you can silence them. If you play Alarak or you play Stukov, you can silence them, and you can also stun them out of it, and they'll stop channeling, and they won't be doing it for a little while. They'll go back to doing their regular attack for a bit. Now, if you kill the fort, you can actually escort these pumpkins, because these pumpkins have no structures to suicide against. So they'll keep walking in the lane, and instead of suiciding like you just saw them do before, they'll walk up past the fort, because the fort said it's an allied fort, and they'll walk. And if there are no minions, they'll jump across this barrier, and they'll hit the enemy core. So this enemy core, they'll do damage to it instead of doing the suiciding. If this fort is gone, you can escort it through, and it does damage. And something else important to note, this boss spawns at the 5-minute mark. It's a very heavy-hitting boss. It does a nasty auto attack, and it spawns an AoE circle below you. We'll check it out really quick. So here's the boss. Look how much damage it's going to do to me right off the bat. Boom, boom. It hits very high. Look at this AoE circle. This AoE circle, if you stand in it, it does a ton of damage to you. So those are the boss abilities. Whenever you capture the boss, instead of going in a lane and pushing like bosses usually do, it does 4 core damage. We've talked about 2 ways you can do core damage. You can escort a camp. You can do the boss. Another way to do core damage is you can channel these bell towers for the objective. The bell towers, they do an interesting amount of damage. The sappers do 1 per camp. So if there's 3 sappers, you escort all 3, you get 3. If 1 dies, you only escort 2, you get 2 shots. Boss is always 4. How much are the bell towers? The bell towers, you get 1 for each structure that you control. So you always get 1 because you control your own core. And then you get 1 additional for each tower. So if you have 3 of your own towers, you get 4 shots total. But if you capture another tower, so you capture the bot tower here, you'll get 5. You'll get an additional 5th for controlling a tower. And if you get all of them, the more structures you control, the more you get. The maximum you can have is 7. You can control 3 enemy towers, 3 allied towers, and 1 core. And then the final way you can do damage is if you control all 6 towers on the map, all enemies and all allied, their core will start channeling and doing core damage to their core. Your core will start channeling bullets and it'll shoot slowly, 1 bullet at a time, and just hit their core until they capture at least 1 tower back. So now you see we control 5. We kill this and it's respawning as our tower. And we'll go cap a tower here, and it should do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 shots it should do, since we control 5 structures per tower. So you'll see the towers come up, and you see it comes out of this core, and it shoots. It's shooting, boom, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it hits them, and it's 40 to 35 now. We got 5 shots. Okay, so one more time, there's 4 ways to damage the core. You control one way, it's to escort the camps, one of these 3 camps. Another way is to capture the objective. Another way is to complete the boss. And a final way is to capture all 6 forts in the map. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And your core will start channeling at the enemy core. One final thing to note about the map is at the 12-minute mark there, you can see this locked gate here. This gate is going to stay locked from your core until the middle of the map. And then at the 12-minute mark, this opens up. You can enter it, and after a short channel, you'll pop up in the middle of the map here. It's a very useful little shortcut, and it's also something to be aware of for setting up ganks. We'll talk about this later. So that concludes part 1. Let's jump into part 2, the draft. Alright, so what do you want to draft in this map? What are we drafting for Towers of Doom? There's a few things to think about in Towers of Doom. Not a ton, but a double soaker is very nice on Towers of Doom. We'll talk about in the lane setup why, but for now, knowing the draft, a double soaker could be very important. What's a double soaker? It's someone who can soak 2 lanes at once. Someone who is very fast wave clear, who can clear 1 lane, mount up, and go clear another lane, and go back and forth, doing that over and over. Who is a good double soaker? Zool, according to Hero's profile. Zool is a good double soaker. Malthael is a good double soaker. Sonya is a good double soaker. Illidan is not a great double soaker, but it's very good for him to double soak on this map because he'll stack his level 1 auto attack quest very high, and he's also a global. And this is a little bit of an investment into the late game, but if Illidan stacks that level 1 talent very high and is able to double soak mid and top, he's going to finish that quest quickly and be very powerful late game. So think about Illidan here. So if you're not drafting a double soaker, you can draft a global. Who do we want for globals? We like Illidan as well. Illidan's nice here. Lost Vikings are kind of like a global. Those are nice here. Zagara's has a high win rate on Towers of Doom. And Abathur is fantastic on this map. This is a fantastic Abathur map. One of the best. So why is a global nice here? A global's nice because if you don't have a double soaking situation set up, which we can talk about in the ideal lane setup in a bit, a global's nice. You can put them in the top lane in global, and you can teleport in for these team fights and have a big impact in the bot lane, in the mid area. Global does very nicely in Towers of Doom. It's a big map. You see there's a lot of places to go. You have 1, 2, 3. You have 4 of these towers around the boss. There's a lot of places you got to be at once in this tower. So an especially common theme that we've seen on Towers of Doom for a while is to have a global top and to capture your top altar and immediately for the first objective fly middle or bottom wherever it spawns. And you can be there instantly. You can cap yours really quickly with the global, and then you can be in the team fight also really quickly. And there's just a lot of towers to fly around to, so the global gets nice value here. Okay, so double soaker and global, that's important. Besides that, it's nice to have someone who can take camps, because there's a lot of these camps are important here. So Greymane or anyone to take camps. Greymane, Rhaegar, Jaina, something like that. And then a last thing to think about, Tracer has a very high win rate on this map. And generally why that is because there are these long jungle lanes, and there's a lot of chaos in this map, a lot of altars to cap, and sometimes you just catch a Kael'thas or a Nazeebo walking around in this jungle, or walking around up here. And there's these long lanes, and you get caught here as Kael'thas and Nazeebo, you have a long way to go to get back to your fort. And imagine, I'm Nazeebo, or I'm Raynor even, and I'm running, and I just got caught out by Tracer, and Tracer's chasing me, and I'm running. Look how far I have to go to get back to my fort. I'm running, I'm still running. So Tracer generally can secure a kill in that time. This is a long, spread out jungle, and Tracer does very well on this map because of it. So consider Tracer here if you're a very good Tracer player. Alright, so that's the draft. Let's jump into part 3, the lane setup. Now, the optimal lane setup on this map is very, very important and can get you some free wins. What do we want to see for the lane setup on this map? The lane setup is going to be a double soaker, which is why I wanted to draft it, who's going to soak the mid and the top lane. Double soak's going to go between mid and top, clear the mid lane really quick, mount up, go top, clear the top wave really quick, mount up and go mid, and do that like all game. And then of course come in for objectives and team fights when needed, but just keep mid and top as back and forth as fast as they can. And what's going to happen in the bot lane is you guys are going to 4-man push bot lane. And you're going to do this because if you're a 4-man bot, you control these camps. Or let's back up a step. You're going to 4-man push bot lane, and you're going to stay here all game as forward, pretty much. Now, why are you going to do this? You're going to do this because the bot lane is the most important lane on the map. Let's take a look at a picture of the map really quick to understand why. All right, so let's look at this map really quickly. We have a picture of the map up here. Now, why is the bot lane the most important lane on Towers of Doom? Well, it's really not a super difficult concept when it's explained. Let's go into it quick. So there are a few ways we talked about to capture, to do damage to the enemy core, which is the main objective of the game, right? We want to kill the enemy's core. So how do we do that damage? Well, we can get the sappers in the bot lane. We can get these bell towers in the bot lane. And another way we can get points is with these towers up top. Now, what I've circled here is what we control basically if we own this fort, this enemy fort. If we can kill this enemy fort, we control the 2 bot objectives, our side of the objective on the top lane, and the 2 bot camps. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5 methods of doing damage to the enemy core if we happen to control the enemy's bot tower. Now, why do we control the 2 bot objectives in the enemy's camp if we have the bot tower? Because if we control this bot tower, the enemy cannot contest the middle and the bottom objective without funneling through this very dangerous choke point here, which is essentially suicide in a team fight, because mages won't miss skill shots through here. ETC Mosh Pit will hit like 4 or 5 men. All the abilities will destroy enemies if they funnel through this little choke point here, so they don't want to do that. And they also have no tower to safely back up to. If the team fight goes against them, they'll die, because this is our tower. We'll start shooting them. So if you control the enemy's bot tower, you have complete control over these team fights, because imagine you have to contest bot. You have to go from your core through this choke point, all the way awkwardly down, all the way here. There'll be minions walking through here. None of your minions will be here because your minions will be dying. As they come to this tower, they'll die. So this will all be enemy minions knocking off your mount. You'll lose vision. You have to contest this, and if you lose, you can't back up to this fort because it's not yours. You have to go back through this choke point, and you'll probably die. So you have massive control over these 2 objectives, the 2 bot camps, and you still have control over your top objective because this is close to your fort, and you can easily poke it from these 2 sides. And if the team fight goes against you, you can safely back up and keep poking from here. You can probably control it. You can go back up through this way. You have lots of easy methods of escape. So you have massive control over all of this section of the map. Look how much of the map you control. If you control the bot, just this 1 tower in the bot, this is massive. What do you give up? You give up, if you have 4 committed to bot lane, you'll probably give up a little bit of control of the boss. Just a little bit though. You can still get up there. And you'll give up control of this top camp. Whatever. Who cares? You can push top. That's fine. And you won't be able to invade this camp, this bell tower very easily. So a few things, we lose a little bit of control in exchange for this massive amount of control. And it's very easily worth it. So that's why the bot lane is most important. So that's why you're going to send 4 bot, and you're going to push everything and commit all your resources to bot, while only having 1 double soak mid and top very safely back and forth. Or if you're on the left side, you would go very safely back and forth between these 2 lanes and double soak. And that's why you want to have 4 people in the bot lane and have a double soak who cover mid and top for this amount of control. Hey, if you guys are getting value out of this video, can you go ahead and smash that like button? Thanks. Okay, so that's the ideal setup between double soaking mid and top and 4-man pushing bot. Now what happens, now you might say to yourselves, hey, Chillrogg, we're not in Master and Grandmaster games. Nobody has these coordinated strategies where we are. And if we try and make them do it, they're going to tell us no. Well, that's going to happen sometimes. So you should be prepared for it. What's going to happen in Storm League sometimes is you're going to type to your teammates very friendly, in a very friendly manner. You're going to say, hey guys, I think we should have 1 double circle between mid and top, and we should 4-man push bot. And sometimes they're going to say no, or sometimes they're not going to answer. They're just going to do their own thing. And that's Storm League. That's how it goes, and you have to adapt for that. So what we're going to do in that situation is we're going to pretend in this unoptimal situation, in this bad situation we might get stuck in, because that's just the nature of Storm League. We're going to pretend this map is Dragonshire. We're going to have 1 solo laner top. Everyone else is going to try and cover mid and bot and do the camps as often as possible, while focusing the bot lane over everything else if you can. Just like Dragonshire. In Dragonshire, you have your solo laner top, and you do your best to focus the bot lane as much as possible. So we'll do that as well. A little bit of bonus points if the top is a global hero. And that's the lane setup here. So now that we have that covered, let's jump into part 4. Let's jump into the strategy section. Now that we know our draft, what we're drafting, now that we know where we're going to start people off on the map, who's going to go where when the game starts, what's the strategy on Towers of Doom? Okay, so as we emphasized pretty heavily already, let's just keep in mind bottom is the priority on this map. We need to get this. If you're playing chess, this is like the enemy's queen. You know, if you can get the enemy's queen, you have a massive chance of winning. This is the enemy's king, obviously. If you get this, you win. But if you can take their queen, this is the key. Take the bot tower, and what do you do once you take it? You don't do anything, but you just sit here all game and you AFK and you push them back away from it when they come. And the reason why you're going to be... I'm just picking random talents. I don't know, Rainer. Sorry. The reason you stay here in the bot lane is because this is your tower. So they're not going to be able to take it from you very easily. It's like just sieging a tower. Picture any other map. If enemies just came up and tried to siege your tower, it would never work. If you were same talent tier and you're all together, they won't be able to take it. And you have nothing really better to do. There's nothing better to do than to sit here and to defend your tower. Because this is the most important structure on the map besides the core. This is the most important thing. So if you get this tower, don't be tempted to go try and take mid and top as well. Just sit here and push them off of it when they come. And then if you get a kill or something, go grab these camps and start escorting the pumpkins. Send 1 or 2. You know, if I was Rainer on this map, maybe we get a kill or 2, and then I'll run and I'll solo this camp really quickly. I'll solo it, and then I'll come back to my team once I get it, and we'll just keep defending this, and we'll just keep trying to keep this tower the whole game. And that'll be the priority. Now, don't forget, this camp is important. So before this tower is down and the map starts, do this siege camp exactly at 1 minute. And then, so the map's starting off, do this siege camp exactly at 1 minute. Once you finish this camp, if you're S4 and they haven't finished theirs, and you have a decent early game comp, you know, if you have Zeratul or Illidan or Abathur, or something where you have to wait for a later game to invade, don't. But if you have a decent early game comp, invade theirs once you're finished with yours, because you're going to be 4, because you watched this video and they didn't.
Nice.
And they're going to be split up off the map. They're going to have 2 top, or they're going to have 1 mid, just kind of AFK farming. They're going to be a coordinated 4-man diving into this camp. It's probably going to be half finished, and you're going to sit on a Jaina or a Nazebo, and you're just going to blow them up really fast and take this camp. And you'll have double camp right off the bat, and you might be able to get this tower very, very quickly, which is going to snowball and win you the game. Now, a few final things to talk about that are important here. Let's talk about what we're going to do as soon as you capture these. So at the 1 minute mark, you're going to grab these 2 camps. You're going to push this tower as much as you can. Now, what are you going to do after that? Get ready for the first objective. There's going to be a preview at the 30-second mark. And there's going to be a full announcement at 2 minutes and 30 seconds. So what do I mean by a preview? On this mini-map, you see how this objective is lit up in green? The outline of this objective will show, not lit up in green, but just kind of a duller, vaguer color where the objective is going to be. So the first objective, there's always one on the left side, one on the right side, and there's always, it's random between middle and bottom. So you'll have 3 towers for the first objective always. You'll have the left side tower, you'll have the right side tower, and they'll be randomly between middle or bottom. You don't know which though until 30 seconds into the game. You look on the minimap and you see the preview. So you'll look at the preview at 30 seconds and see. There's none showing right now, but keep that in mind. The full announcement comes at 2 minutes and 30 seconds. And that's where it's the big green glowing ones, and it's like the Gravekeeper starts talking, and it's like this and that, whatever. That comes at 2 minutes and 30 seconds, and then you can very easily, see where it's going to be. Now, a nice way I usually do this on the first objective is I'll have my double soaker come here. Come here. If you're the double soaker, stand on the left side, so it's harder for them to poke you. You have a couple extra seconds. Be there like 2 seconds before it pops and cap it immediately. The dream is you cap it immediately and you run bot, and the 5 of you are here together, and you get this tower quickly. It might be this one or it might be the middle one quickly. Here's the preview. You can see the minimap now. There's the preview. So it'll be left and right for the next objective. Now, it's harder to contest. Sometimes you want to do this, but it's harder to contest theirs than it is to contest middle or bottom. Why? Middle or bottom is very easy if you have their tower, but it's totally neutral even if you don't have their tower, where they have a massive advantage on this side. Why? Because they can poke you very easily from here, especially if their gate's up. They can poke you from here for free. They can kind of poke you from here and then back up to their defensive line, and they can poke you from here as well. There's a lot of poking. There's a lot of easily backing. They have a big advantage here, where it'll be much harder to get this. But here, if they try and poke from here, you can chase them all the way back to here. You see there's a lot more room to chase them, a lot more room to zone. This is easier to contest here. So cap yours as fast as you can, and then get here to where you can get to the middle and the bottom objective, to where you can be more aggressive and you have a better chance of capturing the objective. So that's the first one. The first objective always spawns left, right, middle, or bottom. 3 towers always. And the second objective, it always spawns only 1 tower, middle, or bottom. So keep that in your mind, set up early, and most of all, try to control this bot fort for that. Another thing to notice on this map, you see these shots, these towers you have 40 versus 20? It's okay to give up objectives. Don't fight out of desperation to get an objective. A lot of the times, it's not that important. Oh, I've accidentally captured all the towers. We're going to win shortly. But now you can see, when you capture all 6 towers, you can see, look, we slowly channel one shot to the enemy's tower. And it goes one, keeps channeling just like this until you win, or until they get one of these towers back. So that's how that goes. If the enemies are going to capture, say the enemies have captured your bot fort, and you're kind of all over the place, you know, one person's just coming back from being alive, don't funnel everyone through this choke point to contest an objective going bot. Just let it go. You know, if you're in a bad situation, let some objectives go. It's not that big of a deal. This is a map where you can come back super easily by having a late game team wipe. If you wipe the enemy team late game, or even get 3 kills late game, you take their bot fort, you take some camps, and you get total control of the map and you defend. It almost doesn't matter how many points they have. I mean, if they have a really bad, if it's like 40 to like 3, you're probably going to lose. But even if it's like 30 to like 10, it's kind of like doesn't matter that much. It really just comes down to the team fights around the objectives and controlling the bot lane, and you can come back very easily. So keep that in mind. It's okay to give up some shots. If you're at a big disadvantage, don't contest. Let some go. It's not that big of a deal. So let's jump into part 5, the most important parts about this entire section, about this entire guide. What are the most important parts? So the most important parts about Towers of Doom are definitely going to be, 1, draft a double soaker so you can go between that mid and the top lane as a double soaker, and your team can focus on the bot lane like they need to. The second most important part is a very complimentary idea. Focus the bot lane as 4. And even if you can't get a double soaker, make sure you're prioritizing the bot lane, getting those pumping camps, and taking that bot tower away from your opponents. That's the key to winning this map. If you can get your team on board with doing that, it's a free win. And if you can't, just do it yourself a little. Put a little extra emphasis on getting the bot camps and on pushing the bot fort whenever you can. And know that holding that bot fort is going to get you wins on this map. Now, we covered a lot there. I know we talked about a lot of stuff very quickly. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. I stream at twitch.tv/Chillrogg. You can always reach me there while I'm live. That's a perfect forum for you guys to ask questions and just pick my brain about whatever you guys want to know for your specific rank or for any rank you're in. Another thing worth checking out is our Heroes of the Storm community Discord. Check that out. We have over 1,200 Heroes of the Storm players, very ranked focused. People you want to group up with. You know, they're going to be in comms with you. They're going to be trying. They're going to be doing different sorts of things. It's going to be a lot better than the randoms you'll get who won't say a word or who will just do their own thing. You know, first pick Nova. You guys know what it is. Keep an eye out for that. Links in the description below if you want to check out that Discord. And besides that, if you got value out of this video, definitely smash that subscribe button below. If you want to see some more Heroes of the Storm content, more map guides, more hero guides, things of that nature to get your Storm League win rate up. Besides that, thanks a lot for watching, guys, and I'll see you guys in the next video.